now next we're going to go ahead and make this nose really look like something, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my small number 7 gouge, and like I said, it's about a 5/16, and I'm going to start making this nose look like a nose. Now first thing I want to do is turn him upside down, and I want to come back right along here. I want to center this up right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start rounding down. As you go down, you lift the handle up, and this is going to put the kind of bulb on the end of the nose. And you're not going to do it in one time probably, so just kind of take your time. Make sure you keep it centered, but by the time you get down to there, you want to be straight up and down and push it into the wood, and just keep working at it until you get it round. Okay, like that. Can you see that? Now I'll turn it around, and I'm going to come right back and just take a little bit of wood right there just to kind of clean that up at the bottom of the nose. There's the roundness of the nose. Now then, I'm going to take this edge of this, and I'm going to stick it right in that cut, and I'm just going to rotate it out just like that and push it in the wood. I'm going to come underneath there and take out a small chip. We'll come back and round all this up later, but this is setting the wings of the nose in, okay? Then I'm going to come over here on the other side, and it's best to turn it upside down. I want to hook it right back in the corner right there, and I want to do the same thing on the other side. Now sometimes this is a hard thing to do, because when you turn it over now, you got to look and make sure these came out in the same place. I can see that this is a little bit too low on this side. So I'll come back and I'll do that again, and I'll just come up a little bit more, and I'll push it in just like that, okay? And I'll come back and take a little bit of wood right out of there. There we go. For now, that's good enough. All right, so that's starting to look a little bit more like a nose. Now then, what I want to do is come up above this, and I want to come back and put that bridge line about a 1/16 on each side of that line, so I can not keep that brow in there. All right, and then I'm going to, if you'll notice, the wing of that nose is going to be here, so I'm going to come a little bit above it, and I'm going to take this tool, and I'm going to start removing some of this wood, just a little bit of it. I want to stay away from the bottom down here, okay? And you can take it and come in here, and because I use this, I can isolate that brow of the nose and still have a fairly smooth transition as I come down here off the face. Now, my nose marks were right here and right there, if you remember, okay? Now, I'm going to take this and turn it over. I'm going to lay it right up here, and I'm going to come straight down from this point to this point. I'll actually be going in the wood. I'm not going to round it. I'm going to go straight down just like this. And that does the wing of the nose. And then push it in the wood a little bit, okay? And I'm going to take this and just kind of remove that chip there, and turn it back around here and come back very carefully to that nose right there. And what this does, now you can see that the nose is supposed to be half off the face and half in the face. And what we're doing is we're sinking that nose into the face. And when you get it about where you want it, then I go ahead and turn it up like that. And then I can come back and cut very carefully back to that mark. Just going to remove a little bit of wood, and that exposes the end of that nose. You can take it and even round it a little bit right on the end if you want to, which I just did right there. If you can see that, okay. And there it is. That's the basic nose. Now we're going to come on the other side and do the same thing right there, okay, just like that. And I want to come right up in here and remove some of this wood up in here. I want to get back to that line. Now I'm staying above the wings of the nose when I do that, and I can come right here and start removing some of this wood. And what this does also is it sets the face back into the wood. It gives you more depth, more realism, makes a better looking carver. carving, excuse me, when you do this. Now I can come up in here and kind of clean some of this out. And all I'm doing is just getting rid of some excess wood that we don't want to need. And then you can take it and measure it, put your finger there, and try to get it the same on the other side. Right there is where I want to be. Now turn it up, make that little mark like I did, and cut back to that mark. And my nose should be in the same place on both sides. Now I might want to clean this up a little bit. It's going to come down a little more. See, we're just kind of rounding that back in there. Kind of clean this up a little. Okay. And once we get all this done, the next part's going to go pretty fast. Start outlining the face. I'm going to take it back as far as the face will go, which in this case is going to be 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, something like that. Just removing a little bit of wood to keep that 45-degree angle as it comes down the face. Don't want my face to be too flat. Don't like flat faces. Okay. Alright. And we'll clean up as we go, or clean up later. I need a little more right here. Now it's helpful if you have a small veiner, you can come in here and make that even better. But I think that for this guy, this is going to be good enough. Alright, now that's that part. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start removing some wood here. If you look at the side view, got the brow way too steep. I need to take that wood back, probably along into right here somewhere, and get rid of a little bit of this wood. And for simplicity's sake, I'm going to take my knife very carefully so you don't chop off the nose, and I'm going to start doing it up here. And this also lets me round and get rid of this corner up here, which will be a good thing when I start doing the hair. This is not a recommended way to do this, but for time's sake I'm going to do it. Okay. In a minute, I will definitely, when I start using the V-tool to do my hair, I will have my glove on, for those of you that care about such things. Because when you're doing that, it is very easy to get yourself with the V-tool, okay? Alright, now see, I'm just rounding this up a little bit, and we'll actually do more to it here in a minute. I'm just getting rid of some material here, because I'm fixing to draw the face on this thing. Now, and I'll go back to my other one and kind of show you some things. Okay, there it is. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and draw in the the brow line up here. And the easiest way to get that is, faces are thirds. If you looked at my other videos, I'll take the length of that nose right there, and I'll come up right there, and that is where his brow line is going to be, his hairline. Okay. And then I want to determine how wide the face is. Well, I do that by using the eye method. Human face 4.5 to 5 eyes wide. It also, hang on just a second, I see something I need to fix. And as you go, keep looking at your carving, because you might notice something is not right from one side to the other, and you can fix it, which I just did. Okay, now the inside of the eye lines up with the outside of the nair of the nose right there. And the eye is generally as wide as the nose. Now I'm just going to cheat for time purposes. You can, what I usually do a lot of times is I'll take my measurement and I'll go right here, and then a lot of times I'll shrink it just a hair, and then I'll go right here. Now see, I just worked out just right. That's good. And then I want to come out about 1/2 of an eye, and that's going to be the side of my face right there. Okay. Get my center line back in here, and then what I'm going to do is come in excuse me, and measure from center line out to there, rotate this right around, and that gives me the side of his face. Make sure that's right. Yeah, close enough. Side of his face over here. And there's the side of his face. And I just take my pencil, lay it here, and make me a mark. Not going to be using that mark for very long. And see, my block's not the same on both sides. But that's okay on Woodspirit. And there's the sides of my face. By that I mean it's the, excuse me, it's the largest outside point on the face. Now we have my line up here for his brow, and I'm going to come and I'm just going to draw a nice curve right there. And then you got to come over here on the other side and match it, and one way to do it is come right here, determine that point, just mark it off over here, and then you just kind of have to freehand it. I've done it enough that it's not really a problem for me. I have to look at it and make sure it looks the same for both sides. Well, that'll work. A little different for some reason. Just get you some kind of line. Okay, there we go. A little bit, something. Alright. Now once I establish those lines, now I'm going to come on down here and remove a little bit of this wood. It's just in the way. And I'll be removing a lot of it a little later. It's kind of nasty looking, but it'll work. And even round this up a little bit. You'll be rounding it up a little more later. Just going to get it out of the way for right now, because I'm going to draw in the mustache here in just a minute. So, remove this down a little bit. I want it back behind the nose a little bit. Okay, like I said, we'll probably remove more later, but for now I'm getting this out of the way so it's easier for me to draw the next part. Okay, here we go. Now then, what I'm going to do is draw me a mustache in here. Okay, and mustaches can be anyways. There's a real simple one. Here's one. I let it kind of go off to the left, and then I think that's what we're going to do on this one, because on this one it's kind of like the wind is blowing everything this way. See how I did the top hair and how I did the bottom? So that's kind of a wind-blown spirit look. I think that's what we'll do on this one. Come right up here to the bottom of the nose. Come off. I'm going to come way off on him. Let me see. I want to get a little bit of curve to it. A little bit of curve to it, and then it's going to come on round. Might put a little tail down there a little bit. And then what I need to do is I need to locate where the mouth is. And on the Woodspirit I cheat a little bit. I come down about 1/4 of an inch on this one because I want a little bit of mustache here. And then he's going to have something. Here's his center line. Keep that center line. Alright, we're going to kind of bring it down and make a just pleasing looking curves. Remember, you're always a continual curve, and it's getting smaller as it comes down. And I think we'll do it just like that. And I'll let it curve back just a little bit. Then I'm going to come over here on the other side, and I'm going to let him come down. And you want them to end in about the same place, so just put you a mark there. You want them to end about the same place, and I'm going to put a little bit of a curve, not as much on this side. And let's see, I need to keep this, I want that to be about in the same place, which I did. And you want to look at it and make sure that these are kind of the same. Also, I may have to redo this in a little bit. I'm going to have to redraw that center line a little bit, but that's okay. And here again, you just want to kind of get you a good, gentle looking curve. I'll have to kind of come up here, get that a little bit more. There's nothing real fancy about doing that. You can just always come back and erase. Draw it in again until you get what you want, until you get something that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to come down here. The widest point of the face is right below the eye, so I'm going to say it's right there. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get that point over on the other side, which is about right there. And just make me a mark. Okay, and then I'm actually going to taper that face back in a little bit. I don't like it straight down, and it kind of gives it an oval look. And then you want to come on the other side and kind of look at that and say about right there, and kind of do the same thing until it looks balanced, pretty balanced. Okay, this guy's going to have a big, nice, wide face, and he's going to look good. All right, there we go. Now at that point, I'm going to take my V tool once again, and I'm going to outline this face with it. I'm going to stick it right in here, and I'm going to go. And now when I get over here on the side of the face, say at this point, I'm going to lay that V tool back because I want that side of the face to go straight back into it. So I'm going to just kind of lay it back a little bit, and it also kind of adds a, got to be careful right there. And then I'm going to come on the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm kind of laying that back. By the time I get up here, I rotate it back around. Be real careful right there if you don't have a glove on so you don't slip and cut yourself. And then look at it. Now I've got him a little skewed for some reason. But I can fix that at this point. I can come right here and take a little more out of here until I get him looking the same. He's a little lopsided looking, but that's okay. It's a Woodspirit. Now come down here. Now sometimes your grain will change direction, so you may have to come up like I did here to the nose very carefully, and then you might have to turn around and go the other way. You'll notice that I try to keep two hands on the tool at all times, if I can. And basically, I'm laying my thumb along there, but what it's mainly doing is guiding and keeping my tool from slipping out. But it always gives you a lot better control when you can get two hands on your tools. A lot safer. Now I'm going to take all this down. I'll probably come back and deepen this up here in a minute. Basically what I'm doing here is I'm outlining, and we're going to be removing more wood and making this all deeper as we go. Okay. And you want to, as you cut these, kind of make them a smooth curve. One thing you don't want to do is go this way and then go that way. You want to keep it as smooth a transition as you can, as smooth a curve as you can. Like so. And come in here. Like so, very carefully up to the nose. And then I can come back right here and go down to there. And come on, continue to cut the rest of this mustache in. Excuse me. Rest of this mustache in here. Now you might notice I've got sharp tools. Don't even start a project like this until you go out and sharpen your tools. That's the first thing I did this morning. Let's go out to my shop and put all my tools on my buffing wheel. Okay, now there he is. He's kind of outlined. Now then I'm going to come back in here, and I want this side of this face to show a little more. So I'm going to come right back in here, and I'm just going to come right around. And see, I'm exposing more of that face, what I'm doing. These days I kind of like to do that. Alright. I'm going to come back over here and do the same thing. Just taking that down. My thumb's not your way. Yeah, maybe it is. You have to do it the other way. So sometimes you have to turn one way or the other. Let me lay that down for just a second. I need a little more control. Alright. Lay that down there. Now, up in this area, we're going to have to lay this brow back. So I know that I'm going to have to cut this deeper. Actually, a lot deeper. I just come across. You almost did it. Okay. There we go. Now he's basically blocked in, set in. And in just a minute we're going to come back and I'm going to lay that all back. And we'll make this face look like something.